I didn't think much of it at first. Maria was always polished. Crisp suits, perfect hair, confidence that walked into a room 5 seconds before she did. She worked in luxury real estate, the kind of job where image mattered. She told me early on, buyers don't want to feel like they're walking into someone else's life. I keep things neutral. So when I noticed she wasn't wearing her wedding ring at work, I let it slide the first few times. We'd only been married 6 months. I figured maybe she forgot. One day I asked casually while we were getting ready, "Hey, where's your ring?" She paused while brushing mascara on. "Oh, I don't wear it at showings. It distracts clients." "Distracts them how?" She shrugged. "They ask questions. Personal stuff. It becomes a whole thing. It's easier to keep the focus on the properties." I nodded, but it stuck in my head. She always put the ring back on the moment she got home, like clockwork, like someone hitting a mark. A few weeks later, I saw something that didn't sit right. I was scrolling through Facebook on a Thursday night, half watching a game on mute, when a public tag popped up. Some guy named Evan, looked mid-30s, hair gelled back like a car salesman, had tagged Maria in a group photo at a rooftop bar. The caption read, "Another killer night with our star agent. Maria's got all the men wrapped around her finger. Or not." I clicked the photo. 5 people. All men. Maria in the center, smiling wide, glass in hand. No ring on her finger. It wasn't just the ring missing. It was the way she leaned in toward one of the guys, a little too close for someone who just forgot her jewelry. I didn't say anything that night. Just kept watching the game, thinking. It's probably just a work thing, I told myself. But the next morning, when I watched her slip the ring off right before leaving, I stayed quiet. I just started paying attention. The thing about noticing something once is, you start noticing everything. The ring wasn't an accident. Every morning, like she was clocking in, Maria would slide it off, tuck it into that little velvet pouch, drop it in her purse, and head out. Not just for showings, she never wore it to work at all, always with a smile and a "love you, babe." One morning, as she was grabbing her bag, I asked, "Why don't you wear your ring at work? You told me you don't have a showing today." She didn't miss a beat. "It's still better not to wear it. Makes everything simpler." "Right," I said, "just curious." She kissed me and left. But she was more tense than usual, like I'd touched a nerve. That weekend, we were out at a barbecue hosted by one of my college friends, and Maria was doing what she does, working the crowd, talking to strangers like she'd known them for years. Everyone loved her. But I kept watching her, watching how she deflected questions about marriage, how she laughed and said, "Oh, Gary's the romantic. I'm just along for the ride." Later, I reached out to someone who used to work with her, Tanya. We'd met a few times at networking events. She'd moved to another company last month. "Hey, random question," I messaged her. "Did Maria wear her ring back when you two worked together?" Tanya replied almost instantly. Honestly, I don't think so. Didn't know she was married until I saw it on your Insta." Then, another message. "Why?" I told her I was just curious. Tanya didn't push, but she left me with this. "Maria's intense about her image. She always knew how to read a room, and how to play to it." That line stuck with me. Back home that evening, Maria was making dinner. I leaned against the counter and watched her stir the pot. "Are you the only one at your office who doesn't wear a ring?" She didn't look up. "What is this, a quiz?" "Just wondering." She set the spoon down. "Gary, what's going on?" I held her gaze. "Just want to know where we stand. That's all." She sighed, rubbed her temples. "If you don't trust me, just say it." I didn't say it. I didn't need to. A month before our wedding, I'd set up calendar sync between our phones just to keep the planning clean. I'd forgotten all about it, until one night when a notification popped up on my iPad. "Dinner, Ocean Bar, 6:30 p.m. N." I wasn't invited to any dinner. I opened the shared calendar, scrolling. There were more. Lunch, Terrace Cafe, N, client tour, loft view condo, N. Always just an initial, always during the day, or right after work. I didn't jump to conclusions. I opened her laptop the next morning while she was showering. She wasn't logged into any of her usual accounts. There was a second Instagram under her maiden name, private account. I opened the messages. One conversation thread stood out. Nicholas Calloway. It wasn't just a few flirty lines. These were regular conversations, lunch plans, late-night chats, checking in on each other. Some of it crossed the line. Some of it went way past it. He wasn't just a client. He knew details about her schedule, our apartment, me. I took screenshots, every message, saved them to a hidden folder on my phone, then deleted every trace I'd been there, closed the laptop, same as she'd left it. When she came out of the shower, she kissed me on the cheek, said she'd be late tonight. Showing a penthouse near the river. I nodded. Need me to pick up dinner? She shook her head. Might eat with a client. Of course she might. I watched her leave with her purse, the ring inside it like a secret. Then I sat down at the kitchen table, phone in hand, and let everything settle in. The truth was there the whole time. I just hadn't looked. That night, I didn't sleep much, but I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wanted her to keep thinking I was clueless, because now I had a different plan. The next few days, I played the part, smiled, cooked, watched TV beside her like nothing was wrong. Meanwhile, I was untangling our lives behind the scenes. I started with the trip to Italy, called the travel agent and canceled it. The booking had been under my name. The refund went straight to my card. Then I went to the bank, requested to switch our joint savings, money we'd set aside for a house, into a temporary hold account. Told them it was due to suspected fraud. Technically true. She couldn't access it now without my authorization. I also canceled the lease on the apartment. It was under my name. If Maria wanted to stay, she'd have to take over the payments herself. Last stop was a lawyer. Quiet office on the 9th floor of a downtown building. I laid everything out, screenshots, calendar logs, account information. He didn't ask many questions, just scanned through the documents and told me I was doing the right thing. I had everything I needed. The key was to stay calm and not tip my hand too soon. I was calm, almost too calm. That weekend, Maria came home with a new dress. Black, expensive looking, tags still on. Got it on sale, she said, grinning. You'll like it. What's the occasion? I asked. She walked past me, hanging it in the closet. Just wanted to feel nice. I smiled, said nothing. Monday morning, I watched her go through the same routine. Purse packed, ring tucked inside. As soon as she left, I walked over to the closet. I pulled out a duffel bag and packed what I needed. Laptop, IDs, charger, a few clothes. Left the rest. I dropped the keys on the kitchen counter and walked out. I didn't leave a note. Instead, I drove straight to an Airbnb across town and turned off my phone. A couple hours later, I switched it back on and checked my email. There it was. Payment declined. Luxury Motors auto lease. I closed the message and sat back. She'd notice soon enough. That evening, I was sitting outside the Airbnb on a cheap metal chair, beer in hand, watching the sky turn orange when her name lit up my phone. I didn't answer. 2 minutes later, another call. Then a text. Gary, what the hell is going on? The lease bounced. My card's frozen. Where are you? I let her stew for an hour. Then I sent her a message. Check your email. I'd prepared a folder. Screenshots. Her messages with Nicholas. Calendar entries. A photo of her ring box, empty, on my side of the dresser. No message, no explanation. She called immediately. I didn't pick up. Then came a flood of texts. This isn't what you think. Can we please talk? Gary, please don't do this to us. That word, us, almost made me laugh. At 10:14 p.m., she banged on the door of the Airbnb. I don't know how she found it. She always had a way of turning up where she wasn't supposed to. I didn't open it, just waited. Gary, she shouted, are you seriously hiding? What kind of coward does this? I stayed quiet. She pounded again. I can explain everything. Nicholas was a client, that's all. Clients sleep with their agents now? I said through the door. Silence. Then, softly, I never meant for it to go that far. I opened the door a crack. What did you mean, Maria? Her eyes were red, no makeup, no ring. I don't know. I liked the attention. I felt stuck. I didn't plan it, Gary. I stepped outside. So, you created a second life, deleted me from half of it, and now that the money's gone, you suddenly want to fix things? Tears welled in her eyes. I screwed up, but we're married. That has to count for something. I looked at her for a long second. It did, I said, until you decided it didn't. Then I walked back inside and shut the door. She didn't knock again. For the next week, Maria tried everything. Calls, emails, even showing up at my gym. I blocked her from everything that mattered. The only person she managed to reach was my younger sister, Ashley. Ashley called me the same day. "She says you ruined her life," she said flatly. "Did she tell you why?" "Yeah, I asked for proof. She sent nothing. Just said you overreacted. I told her not to contact me again." Maria's version of the story made the rounds quickly. She was telling mutual friends I'd emptied our accounts out of jealousy, that I'd trapped her financially, that she had no idea why I'd disappeared. I didn't go public. I didn't need to. But I did send one message to Nicholas's wife. Her name was Emily Calloway. I found her through a tagged photo on his Facebook page. I kept it short. "Hi, Emily. You don't know me. I'm Gary Parker. I think you should be aware that your husband and my wife have been involved. I've attached screenshots. No commentary, just facts. I'm not looking to cause pain, just to be honest." She responded a day later. "I had a feeling. Thanks for confirming it." That was it. 3 days later, Maria was suspended from work. Someone had sent the texts and photos to her firm's compliance office. Not me. I found out through a friend of a friend. Nicholas had panicked. Word was spreading. Some of her high-end clients had seen the screenshots. A few canceled deals. A few asked questions she couldn't answer. In her line of work, image is everything, and hers was cracking fast. She didn't get fired, but she was asked to step back, some kind of temporary leave while they reviewed her conduct. Maria's carefully built image, her curated charm, her double life, was unraveling fast, and I hadn't even raised my voice. 2 weeks after I left, I was settling into my new routine. New apartment, smaller, enough. I bought a used desk, set it by the window, picked up some freelance work. I didn't need much, just space. Then she showed up at my gym again. I just finished training, toweling off, heading for the door when I saw her, standing by the entrance, hoodie and sunglasses, like someone on the run. I walked right past her. "Gary," she said, grabbing my arm. "Please." We stood by the wall, near the vending machines. "You shouldn't be here," I said. "I didn't know where else to find you. I tried everything. You found me because you needed something." Again, her voice dropped. "I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything. I messed up. I betrayed you. But I miss us. I miss what we had." "What we had," I said, "was real. Until it wasn't." She looked up at me, eyes glassy but clear. "I didn't know how empty I felt until you walked away." I nodded. "I did." "Can't we start over, even as friends?" she asked. I let the silence stretch. Then, "Maria, I spent a long time blaming myself, thinking maybe I didn't see you clearly. But I did. I just didn't want to admit what I saw." Her lip trembled. "So, that's it? You just cut me out like I meant nothing?" I stepped back. "No, you meant everything. That's why I walked." She stood frozen, hands in her pockets. No more defenses left. "I hope you get help," I said. "I really do." Then I walked out. Didn't look back. 3 months later, the divorce was finalized. I don't think about Maria much anymore. Not in a bitter way. Just not at all. I haven't heard from her since that last meeting at the gym. But word trickled in. She moved in with her sister. Her company let her go quietly. As for Nicholas, he backed out of several deals and left town. His wife filed for separation a few days after I sent that message. I didn't need revenge. The truth did the work. Maria's father called me once, told me he was sorry, said she was starting therapy, finally. I wished her well. That's all I had left to offer. I've started seeing someone new, slowly. No pressure, no heavy conversations, just walks, coffee, quiet company. It feels different. Not like fixing something broken, like building from scratch. And I trust myself more now. That's the biggest difference. I don't second-guess my instincts. I listen when something feels off. I don't give away my certainty in exchange for comfort. Maria taught me that. Not with words, but with silence, with omission, with every half-truth she handed out like change at a register. The truth doesn't shout. It reveals. And in the end, what saved me wasn't rage. It was clarity. Walking away wasn't revenge. It was necessary. And I'm still here. Thank you for watching.